So anyway, so without even like getting into that whole can of worms or whatever, I'm just saying this jockey was, objectively speaking, of the portly persuasion.
Not
right?
built like a jockey.
Right, because everybody know jockeys, they're this big, dude.
They
They're
have to
teeny,
be.
they're teeny tiny little motherfuckers, which of course makes sense because, you know, you want as little weight on the horse as possible so it can go
Right.
as fast as it can, right? So me and Donnie are sitting there and he comes out there and we both just kind of like look at each other and we're like, and I was like, that's the horse's trainer or something, right? You know, and Donnie's like, surely. It's like, sure, like that can't be the jockey. Like, there's no way that's not how jockeys work. And all the other jockeys look like jockeys, right? But we're like, this must be that horse's trainer. He's going to switch out before they run a race or whatever. No,
Especially if it's got the third best odds.
Second best odds. And I started saying, and when we saw it's like, no, he's lining up. That's going to be the jockey. And I was like, dude, that horse has the second best odds. There's no fucking way. I was like, it's not possible. I was like, if that horse were to win or come in second, imagine how hard that horse must hit.
Right.
If you put a jockey-sized jockey behind it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, are they handicapping him for some reason? Like, why I'm saying all this. I'm like, we're missing something, right? This don't make no sense, you know? Then the race starts and it gets exciting. And again, I had him pick second. The one I had to pick first, and I also did a straight bet on the winner, by the way, a separate straight bet just on the winner.
You got a hedge.
And the horse I had picked to finish first, it was in the lead and it was real close, right? So I'm watching that, and as they come down the finish line, and it's like a photo finish or whatever, and the horse I had picked to finish first and the horse that was in second, I hadn't picked anywhere. So I knew my trifecta was shot, but I still had a shot to straight bet. So I'm paying attention to that. And my horse wins, and we're, you know, me and Donnie high five or whatever. You know, we like to do this or whatnot. And then he goes, hey, look. And I turn back around, and number 6, with old boy driving him, was putting across the finish line like 15 lengths behind every other horse. Dude. Like, the comedic timing of it was so funny because like dead last by a lot, you know. And then turns out he filed like an objection that got disallowed. They announced all this over the PA. He filed an objection to the results, and an objection got disallowed because his tires popped. Right? I'm not making this up. I swear to God, I'm not making this up.
Get the fuck out of here.
I swear. And so like it was just killing me, dude. But I was just imagining him having like a formulaic pulling at your heartstrings like Disney movie about like an underdog story or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's just like everybody told him it couldn't be done. You know what I mean? The whole horse racing world told him you can't be a fat jockey. You know,
eat another cheeseburger, asshole.
Yeah, right. Like everybody, and he said he's gonna prove them wrong. You know what I mean? It's like Cinderella Man, but with a fat jockey, right? And then at the end of the movie, the big climax, he loses by 15 lengths or whatever, and his tires explode. You know, like he goes home that night, and his wife, you know, who supports him through all of it, she's like, you know, did you win today, honey? He's like, no. My tires exploded.
Dude, okay. So what do you think happened? Like, I'm trying to run through this in my brain, and I'm thinking like his jockey couldn't show up and they didn't have anybody else. So that guy is actually the owner of the horse and he had to sit in.
If it was something like that, then I respect the dude for doing it.
It has to be,
like, hey, the show must go on or whatever. But we didn't get or have any of those details. But I'd love to know. You know what I mean?
Because I'd
love to know. I hope this ain't like our buddy the water sommelier heard our episode. We were talking about him. It's up in the comments or whatever. I don't. Again, if you do end up hearing this, plus size jockey man in Lexington, Kentucky, again,
come on the show.
Yeah, no hate, no disrespect. It's just. I just felt like it was one of those things where it was like objectively hilarious. But I'm up there complaining about before even the race is running up there, and I'm like, dude, telling Donnie, I'm like, fucking Seabiscuit couldn't win this race pulling that motherfucker, you know.